Go 1.22 released. All right, I've been loving Go lately. Go is a language in which feels super just absolutely lame to type. It's not a sexy language. There's nothing about it that feels incredible, but somehow it is the most productive language I think I've used in a long time. Let's go read 1.2. Sorry, I'm setting up something. I want to see the chat over here. I want to see the chat. The latest Go release, version 1.22, arrived 6 months after Go 1.21. Most of its changes are an implementation of the toolchain, runtime, and libraries. As always, the release maintains the Go 1 promise of compatibility. We expect almost all Go programs to continue to compile and run as before. Nice. Okay. Go 1.22 makes 2 changes to for loops. Previously, the variables declared for a for loop. Why are you scare quoting for loop? For a for loop, okay? We all know what kind of loops you guys are doing. It's not a for loop, okay? But I mean, it's like, what is that? What the hell does this even? What the hell does this even mean? Anyways, previously the variable declared by a for loop were created once and updated by each iteration. In Go 1.22, each iteration of the loop creates a new variable to avoid accident. Okay, so this actually. Okay, so this was a. This was. I thought this was. Oh, was this opt-in Go 1.21 and now is official in Go 1.2 too? This is great. By the way, this is great. Why? Well, there is a really good reason to do that. In when they say for loop, I believe they mean a ranged for loop. The reason why it's a ranged for loop is that so like you can still do for loops in Go. You can do like for I equals 0, I has to be less than this, I plus or whatever it is, right? I don't know what Go's exact syntax is for it. And you can do that. And then you can adjust the I because it's a singular variable. But a ranged one doesn't have like, so if you go like for key value in this thing, it doesn't update those values. Instead, it creates new variables per loop. So that's great, right? Go slowly becoming Python, that'd be great, right? Python's a very productive language. So that's good. Like, that's a very good thing, because if you save any of those variables, say in a function or anything like that, it doesn't get updated underneath the hood on you, if that makes sense. So there you go. So this is now a good thing, right? For loops may now have range over integers. Let's go. That's great. You know what they could really do, though? You know what I'd love to see them do? Just go full Ada, go full pseudocode, and just hit us with a 0 to 10. Just let us do that. Just hit us with the 0 to 10. You know what I mean? Just hit us with the 0 to 10. Absolutely. Nothing is better than the full Ada, right? Because I think Ada was one of the first languages that did that. That would be a new operator, though. Fair. Okay, fair. They're trying to avoid operator because Go is an extremely fast compiled language. So if they were to add something, I could see it could slow things down. We don't want to do that. I buy that as an argument. I'd rather type a little bit more than have slow compile times. Fair. Go 1.22 includes a preview of a language change we are considering for future versions of Go. Range over function iterators. Building with Go experimental. Okay, so I gotta see this. Let's just check this out really quickly. Okay. Type sequence v any yield function v bool. Okay. Sequence 2 v key value any function k v bool. Okay. Oh, interesting. So you can do some sort of a for. Effectively, you can just do like a for. Oh, I think I see what's happening. Whoa, is Go, is Go going iterator on us? Are we about to see a full, because Go's already like 95% functional. It's almost there. It just needs better iterator support, and it's like fully there. So you telling me that we about to hit some iterators? Let's go. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic, by the way. I am very happy about this. Look, that even has a sequence and a stop. Let's go. That is so good. I'm very excited about this. I'm actually very excited about this. Look at this. Like that. This is super exciting. This is super exciting stuff. I don't know when this lands. I don't. This is probably still. It looks like it's still in. Go experimental range function. So that's still an experimental feature. So my guess is whatever the next one is, 1, 2, 3, maybe 1, 2, 4, but awesome. So in a year, it'll be just standard. You won't have to have any sort of this, but you can use it. One thing I love about Go is that the experimental features are just like you can just opt in and start using them. You don't have to have like special tooling. You don't have to have Babel, right? You don't have to have a pre-compile step to your pre-compile step to run your JavaScript. Like you don't have to have the double whammy. You could just do the thing, right? No polyfills, right? Fucking Babel. All right, the Go commands. Commands in Workspaces can now use a vendor directory containing the dependencies of Workspace. The directory is created by Go Work Vendor. Oh, super interesting. I have never used Workspaces, so I'm not deeply familiar with Workspaces at all. I mean, I have a general concept of what they should be, but is Go even like shooting for this mono repo style? Are we even getting some? Are we getting some full tooling support for mono repos? Let's go. This is shockingly good. Go is all right. Hey. Used by build commands when the mod flag is set to vendor, which is the default. Let's see, when a workspace vendor directory is present. Okay, this is super cool. Note that the vendor directory contains contents for a workspace are different from those of a single module. If the directory at the root of a workspace also contains one of the modules in the workspace, its vendor directory can contain the dependencies of either the workspace or the module, but not both. I don't quite understand what that is. Again, I'm not familiar with the workspace, so I can't quite. I'm not sure exactly what this means, but I love the idea of being able to vendor out your own libraries if you need to. This is definitely like more of a C feel, but you know, there is a place that exists where you don't want to only use a dependency management system, but you actually want to be able to bring in the dependencies yourself and have them as a part of the project. Like this is a real world thing. And so to be able to have vendors like this and just be able to do that, fantastic. A vendor folder is now shared by all modules in the workspace. That's awesome. GoGet is no longer supported outside of a module in the legacy GoPath mode. That is, with Go 1111 module equals off. Other build commands such as Go build and Go test will continue to work indefinitely for legacy GoPath programs. Okay. Dude, I haven't used GoPath in a long time. Go mod init no longer attempts to import module requirements from configuration files or other vendoring tools such as Go package lock. Go test cover now prints coverage summaries for covered packages that do not have their own test files. Nice. This is actually super cool. I'd actually like to start because coverage is like a very. So this is okay. So we're gonna get into some dicey territory when it comes to this, and I really want to see your guys' thoughts on this. Coverage. What do you think of it? Hit me with some stuff. Anyone else see the notification on YouTube and then immediately come to Twitch? That's why I do it. No offense. Hey, no offense, you guys. Hey, dude, I'm so happy you guys come along. I greatly appreciate all of you over here. I just want to let you know. Here, I'll let you be a part of this conversation. What do you feel about coverage? Do you think, okay, coverage dogma is bad? Dude, oh my goodness. Coverage as dogma is bad. Coverage as dogma is one of the most unhealthy things of all time. Absolutely. Thank you, Geek. Coverage is good, but one-dimensional numeric metric it's useless. Agreed. I can give you a reason here. I'll give you a quick reason why coverage is stupid. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Here. Function, watch this. We'll call this caller. rlen, right? Right? You get to call an array for a certain amount of time and call. Okay, good. Look, Copilot already knew what I was doing. Now I can have a test caller, right? And it's going to look like this, right? And I can go like this. All right, we'll do this 10 times. Bam, 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 bam. Look at that. I have 100% coverage, right? We just did 100% coverage right here. Can anyone see the bug? That's like completely obvious. Anyone? Anyone want to see the bug that's completely and obvious right now? Here, let me help you. How about that? There you go. Yeah, I just got myself. That's an error. That's a runtime error. Yeah. An OOB, an out of bounds exception, but I'm able to have 100% test coverage, right? So that's why test coverage, JS is the bug. Okay, fair statement. But that's why when people say like 100% test coverage is a requirement, they're not saying anything useful. There's nothing useful about making a specific number a requirement. How I prefer to do tests is I think mocks are useless. I think that if you rely on mocks and you do a whole bunch of testing that way, you create very cumbersome tests, and often what you're really doing is you're actually testing internals. And I just think that that's not good. For me, is that I prefer that any function that does some sort of system integration type call is something that you pass in, is some sort of inversion of control. And then during the test, you just have a different version. Now, you could call that like a mock, but really what you want is that you want any system call that does its thing and then massages the data into the correct format that you expect it in. And this is like a one-step thing. And then that data gets passed into the thing that does all the work. That way, you can just pass the data in and do the testing on the thing that does the work and stop trying to like, if I call in this thing 500s, do we make sure it 500s? It's like, yeah, of course we make sure it's 500s. Just, like that's not the point of the test. Like, what are you doing? Right? So mock. No, I like the data as the mock, right? And so I like something like, you can have like, say you have a status call, right? I said that kind of goofy. Say you have a status call that has to go out to a, HTTP ... right? It makes a call and it returns this. Well, this thing has a structure that it returns, right? Whatever that structure is, I don't care what that structure is, right? Return some, there you go, status, there you go, perfect, right? I want to take this data structure and then go like this. Then if we had some sort of, whatever it is, some sort of operation on status, we pass in this status object right up here, right? That's what we pass in. So that way I can test this thing. I'm testing that. I'm not testing, can I make a function call? I'm not testing, can I make an internet call on the internet? Like, that's stupid to test, right? Like, you're not winning anything here, okay? This is where you do the winning, okay? That's where you do the winning, right? How do you prevent it from doing a HTTP call? That's why they're separated. I like getting the data separate from operating on the data. And that can't always happen. I get that. Like, I'm a practical guy. I don't try to make this happen 100% of the time, but I try to make it so that practically speaking, whenever I do something, there's the getting the data step and there's the operating on the data step. And sometimes it's just impossible, right? Like, we have something right now at Netflix where I'm working on some automation stuff where I have to go and I have to register. I have to reserve a device, I have to install the specific platform on it, and then I have to reset the device. And so you can't really like separate out those ones. It's not really possible to separate out those ones. So those are like, that makes sense that if you want to test the various conditions that you aren't goofing up the device registration, reserving, installing, restarting, and deregistering, you can't really do that without mocks of some sort, right? Like you can't really get away from that. But anyways, dude, test coverage is stupid. Don't ever let someone tell you that test coverage is important. Writing good tests is important. Writing good tests is important. I would rather have 5 great tests that cover 40% of my program than 100% coverage. Because I can't make any judgments about how good or bad the 100% coverage tests are. Not agreed? I literally just gave you a case where I did it right here. We have 100% coverage right here, and it's absolutely bullshit test. It tests literally nothing important. There's nothing important that we're testing here. Like nothing. There's nothing important we've just tested here. 100% coverage is an illusion of safety. Exactly. Because it's a non-meaningful test. I want meaningful tests. Right? I want extremely meaningful tests. Anyways. But hey, since you're here, I like this. Okay, hey, all ones, one Frizzo. Why not? What's your counter to that? Why would you rather have 100 than 40% meaningful tested? Hit me with a reason. I want to know why, because you come in here, you give me the L take, you give me the L take. Come on, come into the big board. Let's go. "100% valuable test is 40% valuable test." Well, no one said, I didn't say that. I said 100% test coverage versus 40%, but they're all valuable tests. Like, if I could make a choice, I knew one was 40% coverage and they're all high value tests, and the other one is 100% test coverage as a mandate. I would choose write high value tests over any mandate of coverage. I'd rather have 20, 40, 50%, and then the motivator to write more tests. 40% means 60% untested code. I don't think all code needs to be tested. Testing a failure of code is important than testing happy path. Yeah, the only way you're going to figure out the real failure points is by people using it. That's the real test. This is where production metrics are extremely important. I'm actually fully on that team. Let's see, management out here thinking they give us enough time to even write tests. 100% coverage in end-to-end test is highly valuable. Yeah, but have you tried to do 100% coverage? Yeah, I also develop libraries only. I still don't go for 100% test coverage. I think you're fooling yourself to think that 100% test coverage gives you any real safety. I think that you end up, whenever you do that, you end up writing these tests that you do effectively black box testing where you know of a specific if statement. And when you do that, you have coupled testing to your implementation. And then what ends up happening is that when you change up your implementation slightly, you break your tests. Not because you break your tests for a meaningful reason, but because your if statement has been changed. And that becomes this really bad thing when you couple implementation. It ain't a black box anymore. It's white box. It's you turn into white box testing. Like, that's specific if statement testing is very, very difficult. And I mean, remember, I've had some libraries that I've exceeded 90% test coverage. And I'm still not loving it. I'm not loving it. You know what I mean? Anyways, okay, so this is great. Runtime. Runtime now keeps type-based garbage collection metadata near to each heap object, improving the CPU performance, latency, or throughput of Go programs by 1 to 3%. Interesting. This change also reduces the memory overhead of majority of Go programs by approximately 1% by deduplicating redundant metadata. Some programs may see similar improvement because this change adjusts the size class boundaries of the memory allocator, and so some objects may be moved up a size class. Huh. Now keeps type-based garbage collection metadata near to each heap object. It sounds like there's like a kind of a cool algorithm that they've kind of figured out here. It seems cool. Built-in pooling, yeah, it kind of sounds like built-in pooling in some sort of sense, or at least size pooling. They're doing some sort of arena allocator here. A consequence of this change is that some objects' addresses that were previously always aligned to a 16-byte or higher boundary will now only be aligned to an 8-byte boundary. Some programmers that use assembly instructions that require memory addresses to be more than 8 byte aligned and rely on memory allocators' previous alignment behavior may break. Yeah, I mean, you're already doing something crazy if that's what you're doing. I'm just saying you're already in a complete, like, to me, if you're doing that, you've already made a great case to probably just use Rust. Can we just all agree to that? Like, if you're like hand rolling assembly instructions, I'm not even sure how to do that in Go. I didn't even know that was a thing you could do in Go. But if you're hand rolling some assembly type stuff, you're probably wanting like a Rust or C experience. You're not like Go or Zig. Zig is a great choice. You're probably just the wrong language at this point. Probably doing assembly in Go is trivially easy. I expect it is. I'd still use something like Zig. Like, if I had to do that, I would use Zig. It just seems like a better language for that because you have extreme control over memory. Once you're in garbage collection land / manage memory, that's kind of hard, you know? Like, that's a hard one, you know what I mean? Hey, thank you. Hey, you jumped in the arena and then you left it with the Twitch Prime. Appreciate that. Appreciate that all once. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it amuses me people that do it. Yeah, it's crazy that it's trivial. Like, that's kind of wild that it's trivial in a garbage collected language like that. I would assume that it's much harder to do, but hey, all right. Some programs that use assembly instructions that require memory addresses more than 8 bytes rely. Oh, I think we talked about this. Let's see. Let's go right here. Such a program may be built with Go experimental no alloc headers to revert the old metadata layout and restore previous alignment behavior, but package owners should update their assembly code to avoid the alignment assumption, as this workaround will be removed in future releases. On the Windows AMD 64 port, programs linking or loading Go libraries with built-in build mode C archive or build mode C shared can now use set unhandled exception filter Win32 functions to catch exceptions not handled by the Go runtime. Note that this was already supported on Win 386 port. Well, I know nothing about Windows. I don't work on Windows. Dude, they don't even have... Sockets aren't even file handles on Windows. What losers? What are you supposed to do with that? I don't even know what to do with that. Sorry, I like to make fun of... sorry. You know what? I don't need to make... you shouldn't make... you shouldn't make fun of Windows users, okay? Because, like, you're already a loser, and so it's kind of like... It's just rude to kick them while they're down. You know what I mean? So we shouldn't do that. They're already hurting. You know what I mean? They're already hurting, and it's just really rude to do that. Okay. You didn't hear anything. Okay, that wasn't Windows. That was not Windows. Okay, we're just gonna move on. We're moving on. Profile guided optimizations, PGO builds can now be devirtualized a higher portion of calls than previously possible. Most programs from a representative set of Go programs now see a 2 to 14% improvement from the what's it called? PGO from enabling PGO. Wow, that's cool because that came out in 1.21, right? This is cool. This is wild. Whatever this is. I know we talked about it earlier that it does some sort of like, it's just stands for super clever stuff. Oh, it's 1.20. Okay. This stuff is pretty cool. I'd like to understand everything more, but it doesn't look like it's working out. Look at this. In Go 1.21, it's 2 to 7% better, and now they're claiming that it's going up to 2 to 14%. That's pretty wild. That's like a lot. C# #1, Windows #1. Beastco, you shut up. All right. The compiler now interleaves devirtualization and inlining, so interface method calls are better optimized. Nice. Go 1.22 also includes a preview of an enhanced implementation of the compiler's inlining phase that uses heuristics to boost inlineability at call sites deemed important, for example, in loops, and discourage inlining at call sites deemed unimportant, for example, on panic paths. Building with Go experimental new inliner enables the new call site heuristics. Let's go. Boosting inability. Let's go. Inlining loops are going to be awesome. Yeah. Linkers S and W flags are now behave more consistently across all platforms. Nice. I'm just going to move on from that one. I don't necessarily care about that one. As mentioned in in Go 1.20 release notes, Go 1.22 now requires the final point release of Go 1.2 or later for Bootstrap. We expect that Go 1.24 will require final point release of Go 1.22 later for Bootstrap. Does that mean building the compiler itself? Is that what they're trying to say? Usually that's what that's... my wrist hurts so much that I may like and subscribe. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Go 1.22 includes the first V2 package in the standard library, MathRand V2. Really? Okay, nice. Okay, cool. This change compared to MathRand are detailed in this proposal. The most important changes are the read method deprecated in MathRand was not carried forward in MathRand V2. It remains available in MathRand. The vast majority of calls to read should use crypto/rands read instead. Otherwise, use a custom read that can be constructed using a uint64 method. Global generator accessed by top-level functions is unconditionally randomly seeded. Because the API guarantees no fixed sequence of results, optimizations like per-thread random generator states are now possible. Okay, interesting. The source interface now has a single uint64 method. There is no source64 interface. Let's go. Generics coming in, boys. Boys, we got those generics coming in at some point. I cannot wait for just things to be that way. It's going to be great. Many methods now use faster algorithms that were not possible to adopt in MathRandom because they changed the output streams. Okay? So it looks like just a bunch of mathy stuff. I don't know anything about mathy stuff. I'm just a Diffie Q Chad. I don't know anything about real math. Let's see. Okay. So math got better. New Go version package. The new Go version package implements functions for validating and comparing Go version strings. Enhanced routing patterns. Oh, look at this. Hey, can we all just take a second to just appreciate this, that in the standard library, they have an HTTP package that not only is an HTTP package, but it also provides routing and stuff? Can we all get a little, as it should be? Yeah, can we all just appreciate that? Because it's not like HTTP has been changing much. Like the general usage of HTTP hasn't changed from HTTP 1.1 or even from 1.0 to 3. It's just like how the stuff gets transferred is really the only change. Well, I mean, you could say that HTTP 3 is different in the sense that the SSL is in a different location, or it's different, but even HTTPS, that's still, HTTPS doesn't really affect HTTP. It's at a lower level in the network model, right? The application starts higher. Only Quick changed that much. Quick didn't even really change HTTP. It just changed like how you interact, right? You'd still have routes, right? You still have path in your HTTP header, right? You still have like that thing. So it's really hasn't changed. It's still the same thing. There's still headers, right? You use QPAC for compression. You still have a path. You still have methods that you call. It's still like the same thing. It's just now it's faster. It's still request responses, yeah. It's just TCP versus UDP and all the complications that go with UDP. Because once you do UDP, you have to be able to construct packets, and then you have to be able to decrypt on a per packet basis. Causes like a whole. There's like a lot of thought about that. But anyways, HTTP routing in standard library now is now more expressive. The patterns used by net HTTP serve mux have been enhanced to accept methods and wildcards. Okay. Registering a handler with a method like post items create restricts invocations of the handler to request with a given method. A pattern with a method takes precedence over matching pattern without one. A special case, registering handler with get also registers it with head. Okay. I didn't realize head was a method. I don't know what I didn't even know about that. Wildcard patterns like items this match segments of the URL path. The actual segment value may be accessed by doing path value. Oh my goodness, this is so effing convenient. A wildcard ending like triple dot, ellipsis, files paths must occur at the end of the pattern, and let's say it matches all the remaining segments. You don't know head? Oh, leaving. Yes, I didn't know that. This is great. This is a part of the standard library. Like, I get it that this it is super helpful. Like, this is standard library stuff. You don't have to you don't have to have like, oh, am I going to choose happy? Am I going to choose express? Am I going to choose restify or whatever it's called? Like, you don't have to choose through all this stuff. It's just in the effing standard library, right? Yeah, I mean, regexes aren't too surprising. A pattern that ends in slash matches all paths that have it as a prefix, as always. To match the exact pattern, include a trailing $sign. Oh, nice. Okay. If two patterns overlap in the request that they match, then the more specific pattern takes precedence. Perfect. That would make sense because, oh my goodness, you could have a catch-all, and then you could have like a specific one. This is great. This is great, and the catch-all would work. Oh, beautiful. The catch-all would only work when the specific ones aren't matched. This is great. This rule generalizes the original precedence rules and maintains the property that the order in which patterns are registered does not matter. Perfect. This change breaks backwards compatibility in small ways. Some obvious patterns with this and this behave differently, and some less so. Treatment of escaped paths have been improved. The change is controlled by a go debug field named HTTP mux go 121. Okay, to restore old behavior. This is super cool, by the way. This is super cool. Is this not very basic things for a web request handler? Absolutely, it's very basic things. But name a single language that has it supported in the standard library. Right? That's what I'm saying. That's what's so cool about it. Go, or like Rust. You download a library to get HTTP at all. Node? No, you get HTTP requests, but that's about it, right? You can start an HTTP server, but then you do all the handling, right? PHP? Don't you use like a .access file with little Apache server in front of it? I mean, Node just takes the same. Node takes almost no different path than any other language, right? No. That cat girl, you know, I'm playing with you, cat girl. Kept talking about back in the day. Back in the day, that's how you did PHP back in the day. Minor changes to the library. As always, there are various minor changes and updates to the library with Go 1 promise of compatibility in mind. There are various performance improvements not enumerated here. Okay, I don't care about a lot of these things. Compare the new function or returns the first in a sequence of values that is not a 0 value. Cool. That's cool. That seems super convenient. Let's go. That's actually super cool. So instead of having effectively, you're probably used to something like this, right? Where you go like this, you know, 1 value or 2 value or 3 value, right? You do something like that. It sounds like in Go, you're going to have something that looks more like this, right? Compare or, and then you just do, you know, 1 value, 2 value, 3 value, 4 value. So, all right. I never really liked Boolean operators to assign value. You know what I mean? I've never really liked that. It's always rubbed me the wrong way for a long time. And so I mean, personally, I'd rather do this. You know what I mean? I'd rather use something like this because it just feels better. I don't think it's just a weird concept, right? It's just a weird concept. What about that? Well, it's not quite the same, right? So this only works for null and undefined, right? What happens if you want to select the first truthy value? Then you have to do something different. So they both have their own things, you know what I mean? This one's saying a non-zero value, so this would be like a truthy value, right? Anyways, let's see. Crypto, we're going to just stay out of the crypto one. Ooh, what's this one? The new null T type provides a way to scan nullable columns for any column type. Nice. Okay. At this point, I'm using Squeal C, so I don't raw dog database Squeal. I just see the results of it, so maybe it does something nicer for us. That'd be cool. All right, encoding. New methods append coding and append decode. Ooh, what is this? Append to code and append decode added to each of the encoding types in the packages encoding base 32 and encoding base 64 and encoding hex. Simplify encoding and decoding from and to byte slices by taking care of byte slices buffer management. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. I see what happens. You have You have a big old slice. Okay. Why didn't they use HTMX to restore position? This is ridiculous. I see what happens. Okay, so this allows you effectively, whenever you do binary operations, you don't know how big your blob's going to be, you allocate like a space, right? And then you start writing into it. And then when you get to the maximum, you have to like allocate a new amount of memory and do something with it. And then when you get to the end of that, you have to allocate a new piece of memory and then do something, you know what I mean? And so this is nice to be able to just have this, like, hey, now, yeah, do you double the memory or do you go up by 50%? Or do you go up by, like, what do you do, right? A lot of people just double the memory, and that's what they do. Whereas this, like, this just does it for you. Nice. Marshalling and encoding functionality now escapes /B and /F characters. I don't know what /B and /F characters are, but all right. Hey, rock on. I didn't realize there's an AST. Thing. Is that for, is this for, like, building? Is this like how Temple does things? What is AST? Is it for like doing cool Go stuff? /B is backspace? Yeah, there's a Go parser and Go. Oh, there's a Go parser and Go. Let's go, and I assume this is the same thing. Ooh, HTML templates. JavaScript template literals may now contain Go template actions. And parsing template containing one will no longer return a error.js template. Similarly, the Go debug setting. Oh, I want to see, dude, I wish they could have like a little, I'd love a little example of what they mean exactly here, because I love their template. Their template library is extremely amazing for a default template library. It contains like 90% of the things I want. Why do Golang math functions return floats like ceiling? I think that's a Zianmop. I think that's an artifact of the times. If I'm not mistaken, I think things will change. Well, I mean, the problem is that a ceiling takes in a float. And so I guess, I mean, maybe that's more of a philosophical question. I wonder if they have it so that you can kind of change which one you want. But I I wonder if they've made it genericized so you can generic it into an int. Yeah, just cast it into an int. It's interesting though. I guess I'm curious now why too. Maybe it's because floats can be specified in a range larger than what can be found in an integer very easily, and so therefore sealing a float is a bit dangerous in the sense that it can just it may accidentally, and converting it to an int may accidentally overflow it. It might not fit. Yeah, exactly. You may accidentally get an overflow. I want to learn more about how this structured logging came in. This is new as of what, Go 1.2? 1.20. I would like to learn more about. I don't know about how Go does all of its logging. All I know is the log class apparently is super convenient and people really love it. And I've never heard anyone say anything but like, this is the greatest thing ever. So I want to learn more about this. NetHP, serve file FS. Okay. Anything in here that we want to look about? They have new functions: serve files, file system, file server file system, and new file transport file system are versions of the existing files, serve file, file serve, and new file transport operating on the FS. Okay. The HTTP server and client now reject requests and responses containing an invalid empty content length header. The previous behavior may be restored by the Go debug fields. Okay, cool. So if you give us a bad header, then it fails properly. Feels good. Yeah, and then the path value. Path value is sweet. Let's see. We'll just pass on by these ones. OS. Those are all Windows, except for this one. IO copy copies from a file to a net Unix con. It will now use Linux send file to system call if possible. Okay, I assume that just means better, speedier operations. Both Windows. Reflect. Okay, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, so looks like there's some runtime stuff with pprof, trace, slices. Ooh, let's look at slices. The new function concat contains multiple slices. Functions that shrink the size of the slice. Delete funct, compact funct, and replace. Now zero the elements between the new length and the old length. Nice. I like that. Insert now always panics if the argument I is out of range. Previously, it did not panic in this situation if there were no elements to be inserted. Okay, good. Like it. This is good. I actually really like, I like this. This is all pretty great. This is all pretty good stuff right here. Nice, and they add a little bit of testing over logging. Interesting. Testing logging. That's pretty interesting. And there you go. Then some ports. Okay, cool. So this is awesome. Go 1.22. Go 1.22 is looking good. It's looking really good. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very happy about new Go. I feel like Go is in a great place, and it's going in a great direction. I feel like ever since they unlocked generics in 1.18, right? I think that was Go generic release. Ever since then, it feels like the standard library and the whole system is just getting better in general. I feel like it's really going places. I kind of felt like it wasn't as good, and now it's just fantastic. And the ecosystem is amazing in Go. I like it. I'm very happy about it. This release is much bigger than I thought, and good. Yeah, it's very good. Oh, the change to the templates? Oh, can you give me a link that doesn't suck? I would like to see that template link. I'd like to see it. Can you try again here, I'll just copy and paste this. What am I saying? I'll just copy and paste it. That link does suck though. All right. Where is it? Where is it? Where is the thing? Yeah, but hold on. It didn't take me to wherever it is. I don't want to go through all this stuff and try to find that one thing, right? There's a lot of code in here. Some ignorant ass new takes in chat. I hate MS2, but there are some fake history being posted. Oh, there's fake history. Welcome to the internet. Welcome to the internet. Hey, this was great. Use Go. Try it out. It's great. I think you'll find that Go will make you productive in a way you didn't think was possible, and you will also potentially be a little bit bored. You'll be a little bit bored because you just get stuff done. And that's that. Bill Gates sacrifices children to Satan. I don't know if that's Microsoft revisionism or historically accurate. A little bit. I don't know which one's which. I don't know which one's which, but who knows? Nice. Based. Anyways, the name is the Goagent at this point. I think I've become a Go lover. I always liked Go. I've been like my very first Twitch stream. I started building something called what's it called? The Hoff. I believe that was my first project, and that one I used Go as a backend. Yeah, I like Go. Go's great. Go's a great time. I've always liked Go. That was 6 years ago. Did you know I've been streaming for 6 years? Wild, right? Again.